Welcome back, YouTube. Happy Thursday. I hope you had a green morning. We are back with another trade recap video. Today I had a really good day on one stock and I only tried to trade two patterns. One was the ABCD and the second was the VWAP crawls. I really want to try to practice those setups above anything else just so I can record data and see how they work out for me. So I'm going to go over my best and worst trade today and also show you some levels. If you do enjoy the content, as always, please feel free to subscribe and also give a thumbs up and share with your friends if you don't mind. Alright guys, let's jump over to the charts. Alright, here we are on SPACE, SPCE. Was running up this morning with a lot of pre-market volume. So I wanted to jump in and watch this stock this morning. It's been a really long time since I've day traded SPACE, so I was kind of excited because I have had some past luck with SPACE. Unfortunately today I wasn't able to take profits off of SPACE, really because I got stopped out and because of my entries being a little bit too early. Although the setups were where I wanted them to be. I'll jump over and I'll show you where I was looking and what I was looking for real quick. Alright everyone, here we are on SPACE. As I told you previously in the intro, I was looking for two setups today. One was a break of VWAP and the other was an ABCD pattern. I was really looking for ABCD over anything else because I need more practice with that setup, and because of yesterday, if you saw my video where I actually missed an ABCD setup, I wanted to practice being able to recognize it and be patient, wait for a reversal, and then move for the movement upwards or away, going to the short side. So that is one reason I honestly didn't take a trade until a little bit later today. I did see a setup here forming on SPACE. As you can see, I did not trade in any of this time frame here. I did not trade on SPACE until around 9:43. I saw the ABCD pattern, or what I thought, forming right around this area right here. So we had the A here, and then I saw the B here, and I saw the C here. Now what I was looking for was actually there. It just did not go through as fast as I wanted it to. I saw the pop up off the 50 and I didn't take the long off of the VWAP. I just sat back and let this continue on. It went up and made this high here, and then it did pull back. What I saw was a bounce off of this previous line that I had drawn, this horizontal line here, and this was my long entry right here. So I thought that it was going to pull back a few candles, and I saw that this candle made a higher high and a higher low. So I said, okay, higher high and higher low, there is the bullish entry that I need. Unfortunately, what I missed was this amount of volume. The volume just wasn't there. So what that means is that instead of carrying higher from this point, it actually pulled down a lot and even went below the 9 EMA. As I always preach in my videos, I have a stop loss. I am not going to let this pull back and add into the position, even though that would have been profitable. That's just not what I like to do. The smart thing would have been to let this shake out and then possibly take it along if it had actually went to the D level here. But I was a little bit premature when it came to the entry here. Again, we'll have the B, we have the C here, and then this would have formed our D pattern right here. It would have been a nice setup. That entry really got me because I got in too early. I didn't have enough room for it to shake out and then bounce back up. The best entry, if I would have waited a little bit longer, would have been a pop off of this 9 EMA right here, and that would have been the move. The second move, as you can see, I actually thought that this was going to move back down before it made an ABCD pattern, or this may have been a rejection due to this failing to break through R1. And, I said, okay, let me go ahead and take a short at this level because it looks like it isn't going to form the ABCD pattern. Well, again, I had my candles flipped. I went short when I should have went long, and I went long when I should have went short. The story of my freaking life, right? So what happens here? The stock decides to, okay, let's go ahead and do this ABCD pattern. And what we're going to do is we're going to bounce off of this 9 EMA right here. And then we're going to continue up for a good 40-cent gain. That was my 2 stop outs. Wasn't too disappointed with this trade because, as you can see, I did wait for the setup. Unfortunately, I got into it too early and got stopped out, but it did actually go through and fulfill what I wanted to see. So even though this did stop me out, I was able to be patient and wait for the setup, and that was it. So now I want to jump over to the one that actually made me the most money today and canceled all these losses out. Let's go over there. Okay, here we are at NIO. Good old faithful NIO. Whenever I'm in doubt, I always keep it on the charts just to have a look and see what it's doing. As you can see from all the trades that's going on here, I did actively trade NIO several times this morning. It may look like I took a lot of trades, but I actually only took 4 separate trades. I'm going to walk through each of them real quick and show you the big winner and why it was my biggest winner. Right here at the very beginning, had a large tail reversal. I know I only wanted to try certain setups today, but when I saw this tail bouncing off this level and then another, I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a small reversal off of this. And I did, and it was actually quite profitable, to be honest with you. We had this candle here, which is where my short was. And then I took profits here for a quick, it was just a quick 1R profit. It wasn't very much on this. Unfortunately, the slippage as this ripped back up on my stop loss did feel quite high. So it really didn't turn out to be as profitable as I wanted because of that slippage. My second entry on NIO was a continuation downwards once I saw that the ABCD pattern wasn't going to form in this motion right here off of the 9. Now, normally this isn't a good ABCD pattern setup at all, just because A, look at the red volume you have down in the bottom. That's just horrible volume. And B, the size of these candles just was not setting up for an ABCD pattern at all. We need a little bit smaller wicks on this guy. So what I did is reading the tape and seeing what was happening, and also what happened right here. As this came down, I jumped in for a short, and then I jumped in for another short right as it got around 35.6. I basically added into this position 2 times. This was one of the loss of VWAP trades. Honestly, I normally only add once when it comes to VWAP crosses, but today NIO had that movement that I love to trade NIO on. When it comes down and it comes through the VWAP, either to the north or to the south, it rips through the VWAP. And as you can see from this candle, when it made the move previously, it completely destroyed VWAP in one candle. So that's what I was kind of hoping was going to happen on this candle. I took an entry here, and once it broke VWAP, I actually added to that position. And that's when we had our full position here. We let this consolidate around the 200, and then it opened right at the 200 EMA and then ran down to R2. I went ahead and took my partials here and here, and that was around, let's see what type of move. I want to say my average, without going back and looking, I'm going to determine it was right around between these two. We'll say it was around 35.66 average. My first partial was around 35.50, so we got about a 15-cent move on that, and then another partial here. And then it came back on up, and I had already moved my stop loss to VWAP, and that's basically where I got stopped out. That was a decent winner. Nothing to go crazy over. It was a good start of the day. Here is where I had the biggest win of the day and actually added into this position as well. I had already switched over to another stock, and I was watching that one. Again, I was sitting here just looking for setups. As you can see, there's a lot of time in between these two trades. So I actually saw this moving on my watch list up top, and I wanted to play this as another ABCD breakout for the high of the day and also the break of $26. excuse me, $36. We had this level here, so I said, okay, maybe this thing is going to have some momentum coming up. It's going to pull back for an ABCD, bounce off of this 9, and then just continue higher. That was what I was going to play. It did make this rip up, could not break through, and right here is our $36 mark. So the line that we're looking at is right around here. That was the basically where I was expecting everything to squeeze and to just blow through the roof. What we had was some movement downwards and huge topping tails of about, lower tails of about maybe around 8 cents. So it did make the move down, and then it started coming back up. I saw a higher high and a higher low. This is where my first entry was. I was waiting for this, and then I was hoping this was going to consolidate and hopefully not move below this line, and then we would have the movement up. I actually got in before the D move. What we see on the next candle is a lot of bearish momentum downwards. Even though the candle closed green, there was a lot of movement to the south side. I didn't like that at all, and as you can see right here, I said nope, 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 nope. Stopped out, done. Stopped out with, let's see, 88. It wasn't even a 10-cent stop. This was like an 8-cent stop. Clearly because I already had my profits down here, and this really just kind of equaled everything out. I was not going to get caught in a flush. It did start moving back up, and this happened before I got into this short right here. The biggest thing that I was watching on the second level, the time and sales, was the inability for this stock to go past 36. This thing had a huge ceiling at 36. The amount of resistance that was sitting right here was freaking incredible. It could not break it. That gave me the go-ahead to say, okay, this thing isn't going to make an ABCD pattern. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go the other way on this thing. And that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and I took my short here. My stop loss was already predetermined. I had about an entry around 94 cents. And it never bounced above 97 cents. So it never went above 3 to 4 cents of my entry on the next candle. And as you can see, once we had our loss of this attempt, this was A. We had a really strong B here. Pull back here to C. And then this should have been D here. But we did not have enough momentum for this to continue through the 36 level. So when I saw that momentum, I said, okay, there's only one way for this thing to go. Either it's going to pull back here and then start bouncing around at 36, which very well could have happened. There could have been so many bulls that they said, all right, we're going to force this thing over 36. Or what you're going to see is this movement right here. It's going to say, all right, we're done. We can't move. Let's go ahead and bail out. And thankfully for me, that's exactly what I got. I got this entry right here, which was, like I said, around 35.94, 93. I'm going to move back to my pen here. And we had actually an upside down, well, it didn't really form an upside down ABCD pattern, but it tried to. What I played, it was basically just a reversal off of an ABCD failure. Nothing too fancy. I took my entry here, and when it lost this level, I saw the topping tail. I said, okay, this is going down. It flushed here. I took my first exit at the 20 EMA. Excuse me, 20 EMA. It did bounce up. It looks like the bulls tried to come in. They just couldn't do it, and it flushed again. I took a quarter here and a quarter here. This had so much downward momentum that I was ready. I was all in on this trade. And having only took 2 quarters here of the position, I still had a high enough amount of shares where I could actually buy more once I got down to the VWAP, and my average was still going to be up around here. So I still had another 10 to 15 cents to play with, even if it did bounce off the VWAP. Thankfully for me, the red volume continued to come in on this candle and on this candle. I added to the position. We had another move here where I hit this, and then I just basically hit my break-even key with this position sale right here. And what that did is it gave me my stop loss, which was right around this area, and then I just adjusted it with the trade. We had a move all the way back down here to 63, so we had about a 12-cent move after I added. I took a partial here. I took a partial as it moved back over R3, and then I set my stop loss at the VWAP, and that was it. It was a really fun trade to be in. It's one of those trades that you see and it's just like, oh my God, hold on, we're going on for a ride, because there's just no telling what's going to happen. And when you're holding short and you see this kind of movement, imagine going long here at this VWAP and then just seeing this kind of movement. It's one of those where you just start loading up the bus. It doesn't take long at all to get your profits. And this gave me my green day, which I've needed so desperately. During this boot camp, I've actually had 4 reds and now only 2 greens. Things are starting to come together a little bit, and I actually feel really optimistic about the future and about this boot camp. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you're actually starting to see what I see whenever I'm taking these trades. And I really hope they start to get a little bit cleaner in the future. That way I can only show you guys maybe 2 or 3 trades that I took all day, and every one of them will be green. Okay, thanks a lot you guys for stopping by. As always, come back next time and hopefully I'll have some more green trades for you. Take care.